Buying the right home isn't just about the kitchen or paint color. It's about avoiding the hidden problems that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And that's why who you work with really, truly matters.
Hey, welcome back to the Cornerstone Realtor Team podcast. We're happy to be back with you today. Today we are discussing some good topics that you should know. Every buyer should know this stuff. We're going to be talking about 7 homes you should never buy. There's things that you should never buy. You should definitely walk away from. So I have Jamil here with me. Hello, Jamil.
Good morning and welcome back to our podcast. 7 homes you never buy. Let's start with number 1. Never buy a home with a major foundation issue. Okay? That is a problem. You don't know what you're going to be looking at and dealing with. Some homes look perfect on the surface, but the real problem is literally under the house. And there's cracks in the walls or even uneven floors. You can look at that if you're walking in the house and you see that there's a slope or you feel a slope. Doors that don't close properly, that's another red flag. And like I said, sloping floors is a huge red flag. And then the cost could be anywhere from 20 to 50 to 100,000. Now, you need to look at the foundation itself. If it's cracked and you get a foundation specialist out there and they say it's a big repair job, skip that one and go to the next house.
Absolutely. The next thing we have, the home next to a future development. That's number 2. You may think you bought a house in a quiet neighborhood and next thing you know, they have given permits to build 200 housing units right next to you. Not only you have the dust and the noise, but it affects the value of your home. That's why you need to always check the city planning departments. Find out what's happening in the neighborhood. Is there any commercial permits issued? Retail stores, anything commercial right next to you, roads, apartments, shopping centers, because how development happens around your home, it affects your home value and definitely your privacy. So we always tell buyers, don't just buy a house, buy the future of the neighborhood. It's very important to know what is happening, especially when you're buying a new development.
And number 3 is a house with hidden water damage. Now, sometimes people paint to get the house ready, and sometimes they paint to cover things up. Now, fresh paint can hide a lot, so it can definitely hide water damage short term. There could be mold, there could be roof leaks, there could be plumbing leaks behind the walls. The sign is it smells kind of musty and moldy in the house, and the paint is bubbling. So when we walk through a house, we're looking for those things. A small leak today could be really a large job tomorrow. So you gotta look for the signs, and you can actually do mold tests if you like. You can call a mold inspector, a specific inspector for mold, and do a mold test. That's one way to check if there's mold in the house. But there are signs when you are walking through a house. That's why it's very important to hire an expert when you're walking through and buying a house.
Definitely. Number 4, the house on a busy street. Buyers all say they don't mind road noise until they try to sell. If you don't mind it, the next buyer might mind it. So what happens? Resale value drops. You can't sell it for as much as you bought it, or you don't make as much money on it and increased value. Noise and safety issues. You might be on a street that it's easy if any accident happens or something goes wrong, your home could get affected. And it's harder to attract future buyers because not everybody likes noise. So you have to think of that when you're buying. We always talk about not your entrance strategy, but also your exit strategy.
That's true, Ramis. Number 5 is the flip that was just done too fast. You know, we've all looked at flips and we see the upgrades, but they're not all created equal. Some of the flippers do things quickly and poor quality, and some flippers do great quality and they do it quick, or they take their time. The idea is that the cosmetic upgrades could hide structural issues, and cheap materials. I mean, who wants cheap materials, right? When they're buying a house, and then there's no permits. So things to look out for. Granite counters don't fix bad plumbing. So getting it inspected is very important. We were talking to an inspector yesterday, and when they inspect a flip, they actually look a little bit closer to the house because they know the flippers are trying to make money. So be careful when you're buying a flip. We definitely encourage you to look at all homes, but if it's a flip, let's look at it a little closer.
Definitely. Also, the house with bad functional space. You got to look at that. Sometimes the house isn't broken, but it's just badly designed. You walk into a house, it has bad lighting, the flow's terrible, the rooms are small, kitchen replacement is done poorly, weird layouts. You got to look at that because, like we said, it's not your entrance, it's also your exit. One day when you come to sell it, you're going to have an issue. A $1 million house with a terrible floor plan is still bad. Don't look at just the price. You got to look at all these things.
And number 7, last one, the house with HOA problems, a house or a condo. A low HOA sounds great until you realize the HOA has problems. They have no money. They have special assessments. They have poor reserve funds or lawsuits within the HOA. An HOA with no reserves is like buying a house with a ticking financial time bomb. And no one wants to get a special assessment, which means a big bill from the HOA to, for example, replace a deck, replace a balcony, or fix anything on the exterior because the HOA is, they cover the exterior, but if they have no money, they're gonna come to the owners to fix it, and then you're stuck and you have to pay it. So buying the right home isn't just about the kitchen or paint color, it's about avoiding the hidden problems that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And that's why who you work with really, truly matters. Call agents, call us that have the experience. I've been doing this for 23 years. Ram is about 21 years. Combined, we're about 44 years together. We can make sure you're buying a safe, good investment so that it returns money back to you when you sell it.
So if you like our content, please share it, send it to somebody that's in the market. Maybe you're not in the market, but you're consuming the content and you love it. So share it, like our page, and if you would like, we have a buyer's guide, we have a seller's guide, we have a marketing strategy book. And we also written a book about selling homes that gives you step-by-step detail what we do to list a house and get it ready for sale. So follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Thank you for watching.